All right, so now we have moved on to the practice worksheet that was given, and we're just going to go through this. So standard form. Standard form, again, we should know, is starting with the highest exponent. So I have to look at here and I have to say, okay, what's the biggest exponent here, otherwise known as my degree? Well, that would be 5. So I need to start with negative 3x to the 5th power. And then I need to say, okay, what's the next highest? Well, x squared. And it's a positive x squared. And then keep going down from there, gives me a positive 4x. And then again, a positive 6. Cool. So once it's in standard form, a lot of this stuff should become way easier because we really focus on this leading term right here. So let's see what I mean. The question is asking me, well, what's the degree? Well, because I arranged it in standard form, the degree is the highest exponent, right? So that is the one that I see first. So the degree is the exponent of 5. The leading coefficient, again, I already arranged it in standard form, so it has to be the number in front of the variable, which is negative 3. So those two will be pretty easy once you put it in standard form. Now it's asking me for the maximum number of u-turns, which hopefully by now you know is 1 less than the degree, which means that I just do my degree, which is 5 minus 1, gives me 4. Constant, we should all know constant by now. A constant, oh, I don't think you guys can see that color. The constant is going to be 6. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Constant is going to be 6. And now it's asking me for the name. So this is when I want to go back and I want to look at where it said linear, quadratic, cubic, quartic, quintic, and constant. And since my degree is 5, that means that the name by degree is going to be quintic. Quintic. But then notice also that it says name by number of terms. So I want to count how many terms there are. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So since there are 4 terms, that means that this is a quadrinomial. So this is actually a quintic quadrinomial. Okay? All of these are going to have nomial at the end. So quadrinomial, binomial, trinomial, all of those have nomial at the end. So now I'm going to go to the next one. I have 8x minus 3. It's already in standard form. The constant has a smaller degree than x to the first power does. And since there's no number here on the x, again, I know it has to be to the first power. Everything has a power of 1 if it doesn't already have a number written there. So again, my leading coefficient is going to be the number in front of my variable. So it's 8 here. The maximum number of u-turns, I'm going to have 0 u-turns, which think about it. That makes sense because this is going to be a line. This is going to be a linear function. Think of slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. It would just be a line, which means that it has no u-turns. What's my constant? Well, the constant is the number without a variable, so it's negative 3. And then now we're back to name. The degree plays a direct hand in the name. The degree is 1, and therefore this is a linear function. What happened there? A linear function. And now again, it's asking about the number of terms. Well, I have to count the number of terms. 1, 2. So therefore, it is a binomial. Gonna have to practice writing my eyes on here. Oh. So that is a linear binomial. Next one. This one again is already in standard form. X to the 4th power 4 is a bigger number than 2, so that is why it comes before x to the second power, or 8x squared. So the degree is 4, right? It's on my leading term. That is the exponent that my leading term has is 4. Now it's asking for leading coefficient. I don't see a number in front of the x at all, which we should all know at this point means that it has a 1 in front of it. Then it's asked me for the maximum number of u-turns. Again, maximum. So it's always 1 less than the degree. So that means this one could have a maximum of 3 u-turns. Now it's asking me for a constant. I don't see any number without a variable, which means that my constant is 0. So be careful with that. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have a constant. It just means that it's 0. Now we're getting to where it says name. The degree tells you what the name of the function is. So this is to the 4th power. This is a degree of 4. Therefore, it is a quartic function. I gotta stop trying to dot my I's. So afterwards, there we go. And again, number of terms. And I hopefully you see that there again are 2 terms, and therefore this is a quartic binomial. Ugh, I did it again. All right, you guys are just going to have to bear with me on the I's. That says binomial. All right, now we have a kind of a longer function here. And it is not in standard form. How do I know it's not in standard form? Because it starts off with x cubed, but then if I keep looking, I see 5x to the 4th. 4 is a bigger number than 3, so I need to rearrange this. So I'm going to rearrange it with 5x to the 4th in front, followed by a positive x cubed. Why does it look like this all of a sudden? I'm not quite sure what's going on with my pen. So as you can see, I rearranged that, so now it goes in descending order from highest to lowest, so 4, 3, 1, and then 0. So my degree, easy to see now that it's 4. And my leading coefficient, which is the number in front of the variable, is 5. Maximum number of u-turns is 1 less than the degree, so it's 3. My constant here is the number without the variable, so it's 2. And then again, I know that the degree influences what the name is, and since the degree is 4, I have another quartic function. But again, now I'm going to look at the number of terms, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we had this before in the first one. So if there are 4 terms, it is a quad. So therefore, I have a quadrinomial. That says quadrinomial. All right, moving on. This one is in standard form already. I'm not going to rewrite it this time. I'm just going to be lazy and put it there. That is already in standard form. It goes 3, 2, 1. But what is my degree? Well, the exponent for the leading term, which is the first one, is 3. And the number in front of the exponent, the number in front of the variable is -2. So now I'm asked for the maximum number of u-turns, which again is 1 less than the degree, so therefore it's 2. And constant. I do not see anything that does not have a variable, therefore the constant is 0. Oh Lord. The constant is 0. And again, I know that the name is influenced by the degree. So if it has a degree of 3, it is cubic. And I see that it has 3 terms. So the number of terms, 1, 2, 3. So think of a tricycle. 3 would be a trinomial. So that is a cubic trinomial. Lastly, we have this 8x minus x squared plus 1. It is not in standard form. I need to rearrange it so that my negative x squared is first, followed by positive 8x, and then plus 1. So my degree is 2. My leading coefficient, the number in front of the variable, is -1. The maximum amount of u-turns, which is always 1 less than the degree, is 1. My constant is the number without a variable, is also 1. And then again, driving that point home, the degree influences the name. So since it is 2, that means I have a quadratic function. And then I'm counting 1, 2, 3 terms. So I have a quadratic trinomial, which is the thing that you guys should be the most familiar with from factoring and multiplying. This is usually what we see them in. All right, so that is the worksheet. So make sure that you are studying standard form, degree, leading coefficient, maximum number of u-turns, constant, and how do you tell the name by both the degree and the number of terms that it has.